Hello, everybody who's been waiting. Hello, out there, world. Hello.
Are we live now?
We are live on YouTube, Sean. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody who's been waiting. Hello, out there, world. Hello. All right. I am Joe McDonald. That is Sean Lawler. We are the Out of Bounds podcast. We are streaming live here on YouTube. We're also recording this for a podcast later in case you don't want to stick around with us. Sean, you want to tell everybody hello?
Hey, guys. How's it going out there?
Good. Everybody, I hope, is doing well. As you might know, this is the 2021 NFL Draft. We didn't want to start right at 8 because, as was expected, there was a little bit of fanfare before we got going. So we have lots of news to talk about tonight in between the picks. The first pick already has been selected, and as to nobody's surprise, it is – who is it, Sean?
Trevor Lawrence from South Carolina, Clemson.
Yes, that is correct. So the New York Jets are on the clock. We pretty much know who they're going to take, I think, for the most part, right, Sean?
Yeah, Mel Kiper's been talking about Zach Wilson basically the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it before we went live, and he wasn't too favorable of him, but he wasn't trashing him, so we'll see.
Well, it is official as of right now. The Jets did take, in fact, quarterback Zach Wilson, so we have that to look forward to. Now is when the draft really gets fun, and this is why we wanted to start this about 8:30, 8:35-ish, is because the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Sean, we know what happened. It's been a day for the 49ers. Have you seen all the news that's been going on?
Not too much. I've been kind of keeping a low key, seeing what you've sent to me.
Oh my!
We'll get to some of that other news. I haven't really been keeping up with the 49ers too much. I kind of want to be surprised by what they do.
Okay, well, here's a few things, a little snippets for anybody who's listening. All right, Jed York, who's the CEO, apparently has no idea who. Only Kyle Shanahan and only John Lynch know who the draft pick is going to be, according to reports.
That's who that guy was? I couldn't figure it out.
The big news of the day is obviously that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay, which we will dive into through the draft. And there were some rumors that apparently San Francisco was going to trade the number 3 pick, and apparently, I don't know, a surfboard because they gave all their other firsts away to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. Again, we'll get into that situation. That's a whole other humdinger. So really, reports are that, again, it's down between Lance. It's down between Jones. Fields is out, which makes all the sense in the world that Fields is the selection. Sean, we're right where the draft is exciting. Who are they going to take? What is going on in San Francisco?
You've been saying some stuff about Jimmy G, which has gotten me thinking that maybe they are going to go with the quarterback. And I think they should go with Justin Fields. That's who I did in my mock.
Mm-hmm.
I said they were throwing up smoke screens and that they didn't want to let anybody know that they were going that way. They were just letting people talk about Mac Jones and Trey Lance and all of that. So I hope it's Justin Fields, but we'll see which way they go.
Well, for my New England Patriots, I hope it's not Justin Fields, but I digress. I'm it's what it is. Listen, we can get into this while we're waiting for the pick. Jimmy Garoppolo has about a $24-25 million cap hit. If he has to restructure a deal, which he almost definitely has to do to go to basically any team outside of Jacksonville, who I'm pretty sure isn't trading for him, again, he's got to lower that cap number, which makes his price go up. When the New England Patriots traded him, they got a second rounder for him. He is older. He is more injury prone. He is more expensive. People saying like, oh, you got to give up a second for him. That's not how it works. Quarterbacks and cars are very similar. They depreciate in value. As great as Tom Brady is, nobody's giving up a first rounder for Tom Brady because he's a 43-year-old quarterback. Okay, you roll your eyes. Most teams aren't giving up a first rounder for
at some of the like the bottom four teams, they'd absolutely give up a first rounder for Tom
I mean,
Brady for 1 year of him.
okay, but okay, that's an unfair one. But do you understand my point? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, come on, we have to get over this idea that like quarterbacks, especially as they get older, like Jimmy G, for all the hype that he had as Brady's backup and him doing all this stuff, like, yeah, he got them to the Super Bowl. Most people think that was Shanahan, that he could have done that with about half the quarterbacks in the league. I mean, what do you think, Sean? What there's again, we talked about it in all the pods leading up to the draft. Every report is a lie and every report is the truth. We don't know what's going on. So what the hell's going on?
Uh, I think the Mendoza line for this would kind of be Kirk Cousins for that offense, because basically it was the running game and the defense that got them there. And like they won the conference finals with, and he threw 11 or 12 passes total.
Yeah, they ran the ball.
Yeah, so that's how they won. So like basically that's Kirk Cousins' wet dream right there, is to be able to play with on that kind of team where he only needs to throw 12 times to win a game.
Yeah. Just so you know, I'm getting a notification that the pick is in, as a matter of fact. So assumedly nobody traded up with San Francisco, which would have just been the greatest thing ever. All right, Sean, do we want to guess or we just want to wait for the reaction?
I'm going Justin Fields.
I'm going Mac Jones, which means it's Trey Lance. That's just the way that it goes. I pick one, you pick the other. It's, of course, the other guy. Again.
If it was Chris Sims, it would be Kellen Mond.
Probably. I made a reference earlier and I said San Francisco, the way the reports are coming out today, they're like a virgin on prom night. They don't know what to do. They're humping the air. They're too excited. They don't want to wait. They're showing up early. They're going to stay late. They just have no idea what is going on and what they're doing. Unless, of course, they make the right pick and alter their franchise and put some more Lombardis in there. In that fact, it won't matter what happened in the lead up to the draft, and they'll be geniuses. I'm not betting on that, but I've been known to be wrong before. I mean, again, the whole scenario with the number 3 pick has just been insane, because this was the Houston Texans pick, which of course went to Miami in the Laramie Tunsil trade, which then Miami trades with San Francisco to move back to 12. And then Miami goes from 12 to 6. So we go from Laramie Tunsil all the way through all that.
I bet you they were looking at Penei Sewell and they were like, but he didn't play. We don't want to take that chance at 3. So at 6, we could get Rashawn Slater.
Maybe.
It's my mock. It's just coming up my mock.
Yeah, San Francisco definitely not looking at a left tackle after they paid Trent Williams the most money ever for an offensive lineman. And the selection is Trey Lance. They changed, Sean. It was Mac Jones when they traded up, but they take Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. Sean, if 5 years ago I would have told you that 2 quarterbacks from North Dakota State went in the top 3, what would you have said?
How many years ago were you telling me this?
5 years ago.
5 years ago? I would have been like, awesome, cool. Really? Well, I don't pay as much close attention as Americans do. I think the FCS is just as good. When I go down there, college football is college football to me. Like, I went on a trip down to South Carolina a few years ago, and I was watching like the D3 championship because it was on ESPN. And I was like, this is sweet. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what did Bill Belichick? He took a Division II player last year in the first round that nobody was thinking about.
Kyle Duggar, a safety, yes. And he was an older safety. I believe he was 24 when he was drafted. So, I mean, right now you have Sam Darnold, who's been in the league a couple of years, and I think he's 22, 23. So he's younger than Bill Belichick's first draft pick. Excuse me. So, okay, we got to talk about Trey Lance. What is San Francisco getting? Because this makes sense if they're not moving Jimmy G. Jimmy G plays this year. He goes into the year as the starter. Trey Lance we talked about it. I think it's 17 or 19 total games he's played between high school and college. He sits a year, maybe two, and he's your quarterback of the future. He is the definition of your quarterback of the future. So what is, I mean, what's the thinking?
I think that's what you got to do. You bring him in. Jimmy G can teach him the ropes. He can learn under. Like nobody was as good of a backup as Jimmy G was. That Bill Belichick was able to get a second rounder for.
Well, I mean that's true, but if you remember, Matt Castle, they also got a second for. Now they also had to send, a player with them, but still they got a second rounder for him from the Chiefs. Again, the Jimmy G saga, like what Shanahan said the other day, the quotes about, oh, we don't even know if we'll all be alive Sunday, let alone, quarterback and all this. It's coach speak. It's pathetic. It's terrible. It's just bad sounding. But it makes sense that they're not going to trade him for all the reasons we just talked about. The cap, the trying to, restructure the deal, things of that sort. You have a rookie quarterback with a pretty close to made roster. Like if you look at this, you're going to have a rookie under control for the next 5 years. 4-year contract with the 5th-year option. He's the number 3 pick in the draft, so you might as well pick up that option now, presumably. And again, it just makes total sense that they go after Lance because of the rawness of what they think he can be. Right now, they're pretty sure they know what Jimmy Garoppolo is, which is why they're going to move off of him. But they're hoping Trey Lance can be something bigger and better. So that's why you take this chance.
Yeah, he could be an excellent player. Like a lot of players blossom late. That's with the quarterback position. That was why Mitch Trubisky was taken so high. Hopefully Trey Lance works out.
Oh, I'm not quite
third
sure
stringer
that I
Mitch
want.
Trubisky.
Oh man. Listen, he's in yours now. He's with Buffalo. He's with Buffalo. I don't know.
That's fine. He can learn whatever the heck he's able to learn.
Atlanta is taking all the time on their pick here. They're down to about 3.5 minutes according to our time. So, yeah, we're going to be with you guys for 2 hours tonight, all live, no stops. We might even invite a few special guests in. That'll be up to our engineer there, Sean, to see what he can do. I'm bringing you the info, as we say. Again,
yeah, I've been looking at the chat, and I can tell you some people are calling Pitts.
On YouTube, people are calling Pitts.
Brendan says it's going to be Fields, and that Pitts is going to fall to Miami. He'll be coming in after the Atlanta pick.
Okay, well, you know what? We have Brendan's opinion. What's your opinion, Sean? What's going on?
I think it's Pitts. I think you got to go with Pitts. And become a destination. Try and pick somebody up in free agency.
Well, I mean,
or we talked how many years on Matt Ryan?
Oh, they're with him at least 2 more years.
2 more years?
At least 2 with the restructure that they did. At least 2 years, possibly 3. Again, we talked about it in the mock. I think we both had Pitts, and it just made sense because they're talking about trading Julio Jones. It will probably be a post June 1st cut with the salary cap information and all that. It's just. Again, I said it all in the mock draft post. If you get rid of Julio Jones, Kyle Pitts then becomes presumably your number 1 receiver option because Calvin Ridley. Wide receivers are easier to take out of the game than tight ends. They just are because most wide receivers aren't going to travel along the formation like tight ends can. Really talented tight ends. Not every tight end can do it, obviously, but a guy like Kelsey, a guy like Gronk back in the day, a guy like Hernandez, George Kittle. Players like that, they can move throughout the formation. Most receivers don't line up on the outside and the inside. So they sometimes can be a little bit easier to cover. The Atlanta pick is, in fact, in. So we are just awaiting word on that.
Where are you following it?
I'm following right on ESPN.
Oh, okay. Oh, I might be behind on my feed.
So, yeah, it's that's where I'm following right now is on ESPN on my phone, because I'm in the basement. I'm potting, and I am doing this. So we're doing what we can. But I'm glad to see that people are on there. I am not on YouTube right now. I cannot see the comments or whatever. So I'm glad that you're keeping track of that, Sean. And I'm glad that people are interacting. That's fun. Invite your friends. Like I said, we're going to be here till 10:30ish. We're going to try and get in there. What's that?
Yeah, 10:30.
10:30. We're gonna do it. I got work tomorrow, so I blame all you people for the meanness I show to my coworkers. Again, the pick is in. They're waiting. For anybody who doesn't know, the draft is being held in Cleveland this year. Anybody who's not following along live or just listens to and they have in fact taken Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida. They did exactly what people thought. Arthur Smith goes from being the offensive coordinator in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill and Jonnu Smith as his tight ends. He gets the job in Atlanta, and now he has Matt Ryan and Kyle Pitts. I'd like to think that's an upgrade. I'm not crazy about Matt Ryan, but that's not a bad gig for your first head coaching job. What do you think, Sean?
Matt Ryan's serviceable at this age. I think he's like my age, 36. So he plays really well, on the turf, doesn't get beat up too much. So I think it's fine for him to do that.
Yeah, again, most first-year head coaches don't get the kind of talent that Atlanta has. Again, I've expected Atlanta the last couple of years to underperform, and they have. But going forward, again, they think Ridley can be a number one. Pitts, I mean, I don't think there's a person in the whole world who follows the NFL that doesn't think that Kyle Pitts is the best prospect coming out of this draft. I mean, just across anything, even more than Lawrence. People can say, oh, well, maybe Fields is better or maybe this is better. Nobody's arguing that Pitts isn't at least a top 2 talent and possibly the best player in the draft. So, again, totally makes sense for Atlanta.
H-backs are the thing these days.
Well, you can try your H-back thing all you want, but he's listed as a tight end, so we're going to call him a tight end. I'll pull out my Coming to America. His mama called him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. He's listed as a tight end. I'm going to call him a tight end. So, again, Cincinnati on the clock. This is where, again, we talked about, 3 at San Francisco. This is another place where I think the draft can really start to go sideways. If for no other reason, the obvious pick, it's the highest rated lineman you have. Whether that's Penei Sewell, which is who I think, or if it's Rashawn Slater. There's been a lot of talk of Jamar Chase. Him and Burrows, they were teammates in college. He caught 20 touchdown passes last time he played, which, of course, LSU won the national title. Sean, who should they pick? Who's it going to be? We're down to about 5 minutes and 20 seconds as of right now. So what's going on?
I think it should be Penei Sewell. We've got Brendan coming in. This is his pick. He really wants to talk about who they are going to take. There we go. Hey, Brendan.
I'm not muted.
No.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're live on YouTube. You're live on the.
Yeah, you might want to mute your YouTube.
Now I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So how's it going? What do you think they're going to do at 5? What do you think Cincy's going to do? He really wants to talk about who they're going to take. There we go, eh, Brendan?
Thank you, guys. I listen. I'm so thrilled that Lance was picked because I'm pretty sure that means the Patriots are.
Yeah, you might want to mute your YouTube. Now
I can hear you. Okay, hold on. What am I muting?
You got to mute your YouTube.
Oh.
What do you think they're going to do at 5? What do you think Cincy's going to do?
I got Chase.
Yeah.
You want so you think Jamar?
I don't think it's the right pick. I think they are going to be stupid enough to take Chase.
Thank you guys. I listen. I'm so thrilled.
It's really interesting just because the simple fact is the most common sense pick is obviously, and we just talked about it, is an offensive lineman. It's just clearly it's an offensive lineman. But we all know the Bengals have not always made the best decisions. And we also know that NFL teams and GMs aren't the smartest out there. Not saying that we're any smarter, but we're smarter.
The Bengals don't have a GM.
And they have a bad owner.
I mean, horrible. Mike Brown is a shadow of his father. And I lived there for over 10 years. He runs it like a business. Chase gets you ticket sales The offensive lineman does not.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm scared about. And I love Burrow. Love him. But you need to get him an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And they declined the option on their center today.
Yeah, Billy Price.
Right.
I would also argue that Mike Brown, like you said, is running this like a business. He's looking at that 5th-year option, and he's looking at the second contract. And which is more expensive, a top-notch wide receiver or a top-notch left tackle? They are fairly close, but I think that he'd much rather pay a receiver in the second, or I think he'd rather pay an offensive lineman in the second contract than a receiver, just because the chances – I think more people think that there's better chances of Chase being the best receiver in the draft than Sewell being the best left tackle, because Slater has come up. We've heard Barrett Tucker. We've heard some other names. The pick is in fact in the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not watching, but I'm sure Roger Goodell is sashaying his way across Lake Erie right onto the stage.
Oh wait, I don't have it yet. I'm on Hulu and I'm on ESPN and I don't have it yet.
Well, I'm on ESPN, the app or the website.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Did you watch the? Did either of you guys see what happened at the beginning?
Oh, please, just stop.
No,
please. Stop.
No, I didn't see it. You'll have to inform the listeners and the watchers what happened.
Go ahead.
So he went out there with 2 Browns legends and 1 current Browns, Landry, Joe Thomas, and Bernie Kosar. And they were booing him, and he was like asking for it, like Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Well, that's basically who Roger Goodell has turned into, is Vince McMahon. And it's what Stern did at the end at the NBA draft when people would boo him. He's like, "Oh yeah, give it to me. I'm ready. Come on." And it's like that takes the fun out of it.
The Pitts pick, I kind of called in some respects. I was actually hoping once Lance got picked that they would be smart enough to take Fields. Fields and Mac Jones drop now. Like we're not talking about it enough. Like this is huge. This is where they're going to fall to the mid to late round.
No. Denver's still in the market for a quarterback. They're
not drafting one tonight.
Listen. Teddy Bridgewater reworked his contract. He took years off the end of the contract.
You haven't heard about Rodgers.
Listen. Until it happens, I don't care. Because guess what? If they are going to trade for Aaron Rodgers, if Denver's going to be the team, do you know what they're going to have to send back? A quarterback. So that's what you're going to do with your 9th pick. You really think that they want to go with Jordan Love, a second-year guy who has no playing time?
No, but Teddy Bridgewater's enough.
Bridgewater. This isn't the NBA. Bridgewater isn't going to get flipped to Green Bay.
Green Bay is a different franchise than anybody else in sports. They are owned by the public. Bridgewater is enough for them.
No, it's not. They've had 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and it's not enough for them. So don't tell me that Teddy Two Gloves, a Bridgewater, a fan favorite of us here at the Out of Bounds podcast, do not tell me that Teddy Bridgewater is enough. He's not. I love Teddy.
They already said a trade was already in place.
Well, I mean, Adam Schefter said the Patriots wouldn't trade Jimmy Garoppolo for 4 first-round picks. So, I mean, listen, I hate to tell you this, Brendan. I know you're young, but people lie.
I'm young. I'm older than you. Thanks.
But, I mean, it's – and you're not. But, again, it's just what is taking so long.
And I'm telling you right now, the Bengals are about to bungle this. And I have a source. And I'm telling you right now, they're taking Chase.
They have, in fact, drafted Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. This is
fucking told you.
Terrible.
Yes. Called it for a week.
This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. This is a bad.
I told you who my source was. I told you I was right, and I told you they were going to bungle the Bengal pick. And
This is a bad pick. This is a bad pick.
Horrible.
No.
You guys thought you were going to do me wrong tonight, and I was prepared to get sanctioned. I really was. I was Vince McMahon, like I was like The Rock or Stone Cold, like, hey, you're going to get sanctioned. Like, you're going to be off TV for 2 weeks. You come back at the pay-per-view, it's going to be a lumberjack match. Nope. I told you.
This is, to me, this is a bad pick.
Terrible,
I get that Chase has all the talent. He has all the upside. I think he has the most upside of any wide receiver in the class.
Okay,
He's easily the number. Well, hold on. He's easily the number one wide receiver to me in the class. That's fine.
Sure.
You just listen. We did this. We did this in Cincinnati. AJ Green was a top 5, arguably top 3 wide receiver with a quarterback who Cincinnati had some decent lines, but they weren't the best. And we saw what happened. They were at top, a bottom playoff team who competed in their division. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, so you need to have better protection. And the fact that they just, I'm sorry, to me, they totally blew this. They absolutely blew this. Again, Chase, he's got to be a top 5 receiver in the league for this to work out. And guess what? When AJ Green was a top 5 wide receiver, Andy Dalton wasn't a top 5 quarterback.
No. Now they have 3 wide receivers now that I would bank on fantasy-wise. And yes, I know you guys hate the F word, but they ain't gonna win games.
No. Like maybe.
No.
Like their ceiling is Carson Palmer when he got his knee blown up.
Yeah.
That's their ceiling. Like that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. Joe Burrow's going to take them. They're going to first pass of the first playoff game. His knee gets blown up. Like that's the ceiling.
Okay, it's Miami on the board. I gotta ask because I actually think this is Smith all the way.
Okay, well we're gonna say bye to Brendan for now. Hopefully you're gonna be back later. Again, this is disgusting. This is malpractice. There is
I called it.
Way. There's no way.
But I called it.
That's fine. There is no.
I'll wave goodbye.
Bye. Again, thank you, Brendan, for coming on. It's just, again, we joked about it. I mean, the 8-inch scar, the injury, the everything. Miami's pick is in. We're waiting on that. Sean, who do you have Miami's? I'm just stunned. I mean, to me, if I'm Miami, I'm running up to draft Sewell.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Yes, fine. If Chase fell to them at 6, you draft Chase. Sewell drops to you, run it up. Go.
Yeah.
Just go.
No, it's malpractice. Wow. It's absolute malpractice. There's a lot of chatter that they'll pick up one in the second, but I think Penei Sewell's like Miami's going to trade him in a few years for a boatload of first round picks because they don't want to keep him or pay him. So
oh man, I'm wow. If you can't tell, I'm just stunned. I know. Again, there was reports a couple weeks ago that Cincinnati was really fighting with the decision whether to draft Chase or Sewell. I thought it was a ridiculous premise. I didn't understand it. I thought it just made too much sense. Again, if you have Slater ranked higher, then you take Slater. You can't. I'm sorry, you cannot make that selection. I'm sorry. It's just I don't agree with it at all.
No.
At all. Again, you have 2 players who were physically dominating the last time they stepped on the field. They both sat out the 2020 season. We know that not every wide receiver adapts to the NFL. And it's not like the first wide receivers in most drafts are like the guy. We don't see that often. We see guys, it's later in the first. It's the mid-round guys, as you've joked numerous times. Pittsburgh in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I mean, it's all the mid-round guys and all this stuff. It's very rare that the top receiver off the board is the best receiver in the draft, especially at 5. Linemen, we see it sometimes. Sometimes we don't. That's fair. Sometimes we don't. But sometimes we do. And I'm flummoxed.
Yeah, no, you have to think about like the wide receiver. They're kind of like a luxury item. Like we thought Pitts was the obvious choice at the Falcons because their offensive line wasn't an abomination that let their quarterback get his knee blown up. And you need to secure that. So if you're drafting in the top 5 and you don't have a good offensive line, you have to draft offensive line. If it's top 5 talent like Slater or Sewell, could be like Vera Tucker. Like if they drafted him at 5, I would have been like, sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. You drafted a good offensive like lineman. Like I'm sorry. It's like Joe Burrow's knee is like it's.
We saw it last year where The Giants, there were some offensive linemen who were rated highly, and then all of a sudden, Andrew Thomas comes up and he's the first selection. Now, whether that works out or not is fine, but you're taking a stab. You knew, again, Daniel Jones trying to protect him, Saquon Barkley before obviously he got injured. You're trying to open holes for him. I still think it's I could see Atlanta talking themselves into a lineman, but they need to make a splash now. I think Arthur Blank doesn't want to reset, but he also doesn't want to go through the slow rebuild of a high tackle draft pick. Mm-hmm. He wants players. To him, the offensive, the guys like that are players. That's who they want. It's just a different mentality. I'm just flummoxed. I'm just flummoxed. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I do want to talk about something that Brendan said, where he thinks that these quarterbacks are going to drop into the mid round. I mean, maybe one of them drops to like the mid. I mean, mid as half of 32 is 16. In the 14 to 17 range, I could see that. I don't see.
What was that, number 15?
Listen, we're not going to talk about it. I'm not here to talk about the future, Sean. I'm here to talk. Miami has selected wide receiver Jalen Waddle from the University of Alabama. Again, makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense. He, Devonta Smith was the Heisman Trophy winner. Jalen Waddle was the better receiver. Devonta Smith did an interview where he said that if Jalen Waddle played the whole year, he would have won the Heisman.
Yeah.
So,
I can definitely see that.
So again, he's back with Tua, the quarterback that he doesn't think is as good as Mac Jones. He's in Miami. So, Sean, just give us your thoughts on the pick. Like, what's going on? Oh, before you do, the Detroit Lions are on the clock presently, and the pick is in. But let's talk about Miami while we're waiting for this pick.
It's a good pick. You're giving him a good wide receiver. You could still get a good. Maybe they let the linemen shake out and fall to them at their next pick. I believe it's 18 there, and who knows? Yeah, Jalen Waddle played with Tua. That was when Jalen Waddle looked like top 5 talent the last year of Tua before he got it. Before
him and Chase were the two best receivers. Yeah, him and Chase were easily the two best receivers in college football.
Yeah, so I think they'll have a good connection. It'll help Tua. So good pick.
Well, it makes sense because again, we talked about it. It gives you a book with Devontae Parker, a different guy. I think most people will agree that he's the fastest receiver in the draft, or at least plays the fastest receiver in the draft. So again, a guy gets down the field. And if they think that Tua is like a 60-40 guy, like we're still not sure, 60%, 40%, things of that sort, having a guy that he's comfortable with, having a guy that he has a natural connection with helps ease that tension. He doesn't have to be a tight end, but he's a guy where you're like, okay, I know his routes because we did practice every single day. So that helps. So as he gets comfortable with Gesicki, as he gets comfortable with Devontae Parker and things of that sort, he has a guy that he can depend on and be his kind of release valve.
Yeah.
And his break in case of emergency.
Yeah. Who's their offensive line coach? They got rid of Gailey.
Well,
right?
this is where remember, this is where we talked about in the offseason. They actually have 2 offensive coordinators, Sean. They have 2 offensive coordinators. Their names
the running backs and tight ends.
Yes.
Eric Studsville, and George Godsey.
Yes. And George Godsey used to be a position coach in New England. He was one of the coaches that went with Flores down to Miami. All right. Oh, boy, Detroit. I mean, you have Penei Sewell still on the board. You have Devonta Smith. You have all these defenders. Last year we know they took Jeff Okudah high. New coach, Dan Campbell, trying to rebuild. Does he take a monster like Penei Sewell? I mean,
he's biting heads off.
He's biting heads off. He's taking kneecaps out. He's doing everything you can imagine. I don't think on most planets they thought that Sewell would be there at 7. I think Sewell's really smart for them. I think it makes a ton of sense, which is probably why Detroit won't do it. but I just oh man.
Both of the guys we said in the mock are gone. I said Chase and you said Waddle.
Yeah. So okay, so that makes sense. If we think that Devonta Smith is the third of the triplets of receivers, of the best receivers in the draft, and Detroit lost, as we know, Kenny Galladay, they lost some other guys, do they pick up Smith? Do they? Because I think at 7, that's a bit of a reach for Devonta Smith. Now, that's just my personal opinion. What do I know? But does it make sense for them?
It does. Like, it helps Jared Goff, because that's the thing with Tua too, is you don't need great offensive, like electric offensive linemen, because it's an RPO offense. So you just need like some quicker guys that aren't as big. For Joe Burrow, long holding the ball, like, averages, probably was one of the highest average holding in the pockets. So Jared Goff, depending on how well your running backs play, you might need a Devontae Smith to throw to.
Yeah,
but
and
if you can get a Penei Sewell,
it's hard to pass up, man. I mean, or if he wants to build on defense, I mean, I think it's kind of high. Maybe Micah Parsons goes off the board.
That's what I was looking at, because I had him going next.
If you want a cornerback to go opposite of Kuda, maybe you go up for JC, or maybe you go for JC Horn. Maybe you go for, maybe you go for Patrick Surtain II. Again, Detroit, really interesting here. I'm not sure where they're going to go. Just waiting to get the notification to see who they take. Again, if Sewell is not the pick, Sean, how far can he drop? Because I think, is there a concern that an offensive lineman, did he keep his weight up? Is he as strong as he was when he was in college? Receivers that sit out are still fast. They're going to train. They're going to keep lean. They're going to keep, all that. Without having a normal combine, I'm sure Sewell had a pro day. I didn't hear anything bad come out of it. But is that maybe a concern for a guy like that? And maybe why Slater keeps coming up all these boards and these mocks is because we saw Slater play and we didn't see Sewell. The last we knew, he was an 18-year-old kid, a boy among men. What is he now?
Yeah, that's a really good point. When I was in grade 8, I read a book my teacher recommended. It was written by an offensive lineman. I believe it was an offensive lineman. And he talked about like the off-season weight versus in-season, like eating. If you don't change your eating habits, because when you're playing, you're eating like buffets every night just to keep the weight on, especially in the preseason with 2 days. So like him,
the pick is in.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. The pick is in. They have, in fact, taken the offensive lineman from Oregon, Penei Sewell. So Detroit now has, now they have 2 tackles. So I believe it was Tyler Decker is their left tackle right now. So maybe they put Sewell at right, or they move Decker over to the right. Again, if you're trying to build a tough-nosed team, I could definitely see Detroit. Last year they took a running back you really liked, and they're going to maybe try and run the ball. They're going to try and protect Jared Goff, not only in passing, but just in general. Run the ball a bit more, try and push teams around. Sewell's the guy to do that. That's really, really good. I think that's a really good pick by Detroit. I'm not sure if they thought that he was going to be there at 7, but they have to be happy that he's there at 7.
I think it's a great pick. That's exactly right. Well, Jared Goff made the Super Bowl in a run first offense. So he was, if you can establish that kind of offense, a play action run first, then you're going to help Jared Goff out. And I think Penei Sewell, if you need to work him into game playing, like especially like left tackle might be a little much right off the block too. Especially like if he hasn't played for a year, he's not used to schemes. He hasn't seen like a live rusher yet. So put him on the right, make him the running tackle, and
which is what he's going to want to do to start out anyway. Yeah. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock at number 8. ESPN has Devonta Smith as the best available. Not sure he makes a huge fit there. Patrick Surtain Jr. makes a lot of sense. When they were really good at Carolina, they had guys like Josh Norman and stuff who were shut down corners.
He's not
what's
anymore? He's not a shutdown corner anymore?
No, he is not, Sean. He is not. We are talking about the draft, sir. We're talking about
I
the
had
draft.
him. We had
I know. Again, maybe Surtain, little high, but makes sense because we know he's
too high. Like,
it's not too high.
That's
Again,
fine.
corner at 8. It's not super high, but it's pretty high.
Well, Detroit, what did they take a corner at 3 last year?
At 3, Akuda. That's high. That's high. And I
but
like Akuda.
that was like Zoom
like
and everything.
Yeah. Again, maybe they go Parsons. Some people think they could go quarterback. Even though they get Darnold, maybe bring in another guy. As of right now, they have not picked up the 5th-year option on Sam Darnold, but they have until I believe it's May 4th or 5th to do that. So there's still time. Again, maybe they go get a Devonta Smith. They had a lot of success with a smaller wide receiver by the name of Steve Smith for some years. So maybe now you bring in a less physical version of him, but a little bit more athletic Devonta Smith. Matt Rule, offensive genius coming from Baylor, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the guy he wants, a jack of all trades, Devonta Smith. Or maybe he says, maybe he has the Shanahan thought of hey, I can take care of the offense. I'll take care of it. Give me defense. So again, whether it's Surtain, whether it's Micah Parsons, whether it's somebody we're not thinking of, maybe J.C. Horn climbed up high enough. Maybe it's Rashawn Slater. I had them getting Slater just because, again, same thing as Detroit's thinking. You want to protect a young quarterback. If Darnold's your guy going into the season, you have Tyler Moton on the franchise tag. You bring in Rashawn Slater, and you just run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. You run the screens. You do the things that you need to do. They picked up the 5th-year option on DJ Moore. They've got Robbie Anderson. I mean, they've got some talent on offense. So, again, Carolina could go anywhere. The pick is in, so we're just waiting for that. Sean, after my soliloquy there, what do you think?
I said Parsons. I think that's get them defense, and I think Parsons is the player that would do well for them on defense. But I do like Slater going there. That would be really good that would be a really good pick for their offense, especially for Sam Darnold and all the talent that they have. So I like it.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, right now, everybody's talked about it. We're not the first. We're not the only ones. But the Jets didn't do anything to surround Sam Darnold. I brought it up in the mock draft. These teams are basically committing malpractice when they have young rookie quarterbacks, and they don't do anything to help them out. Right now, Carolina has more talent on offense than he ever had in the Jets, arguably, because Le'Veon Bell was a shell of himself. That was a whole terrible situation. Robbie Anderson was a really good receiver, and they let him go to Carolina on a 2-year deal. So
he had really good connection with him. I remember.
And they did. I mean, Robbie Anderson, I think, had 1,000 yards, in that season. So, I mean, they did. And I think Carolina was smart to draft Darnold because, again, we talk about connections with quarterbacks and receivers. That's something they expect. And Moore has a lot of talent, so he's on the other side. They're going to, have a lot of options. So, again, Carolina here, I cannot think of one draft pick they could take that would make me shake my head. I just don't. If they take a quarterback, again, but it kind of makes sense.
But that's where I would expect a Trey Lance. I'd be okay with the Trey Lance if he was available to take him. But
then
Mac Jones.
Then you take Fields.
But Fields, I don't think he's that much of a project. He's why are you're putting too much pressure on Darnold by bringing in a quarterback that good?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the NFL. I didn't realize we didn't have to deal with pressure. I mean,
if you want to have Darnold play, you traded for him, I don't understand.
Okay, but they didn't give up a ton for him. But if they want to find out, let's say this, okay? Let's just say this. They trade for Darnold, which they did. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option yet. So they haven't picked up the 5th-year option. Now they're going to bring a guy. Let's just say they take Fields. This is a hypothetical. We don't know the pick yet. They bring in Fields. He pushes Darnold at the start. If it's a guy like Trey Lance, we don't expect, holy moly, first surprise of the draft. The Carolina Panthers have taken cornerback J.C. Horn with the 8th pick in the draft. We said Horn was a riser, man. He was coming up some boards.
That's holy cow, defense. It's defense.
I think we both had him at 16 to Arizona. Yeah. Wipe that off the board. That is gone. That is gone.
I can't wait to watch the broadcast tomorrow. I'm taping it. So, I just can't wait to see how the Riddick reacted and everything like that.
I mean, listen, again, it makes sense. We talked about it. They need a corner, on help on defense. Josh Norman, for all his problems, help that defense. JC Horn, they think he's the best cornerback in the draft. They went and got the best cornerback in the draft for them. That's what you do when you have a top 10 pick. He's a local guy. He just needs to go up I-95 a little bit, or, whatever. The Denver Broncos, which Brendan had mentioned, were in talks apparently, but some people say yes, some people say no to trade for Aaron Rodgers. They are up with the 9th pick in the draft. Sean, tell us what you think. What should Denver do here?
I have no idea. I'm so flummoxed by JC Horn being taken by Carolina.
Yes,
I think they should go Michael Parsons, to be honest. Because I had them taking Trey Lance. You had them taking Trey Lance. He's
gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So
he's gone.
I'd go Michael Parsons because if Fangio is going to save his job, his defense needs to play lights out.
Again, like you said, Fangio's a defensive guy. He wants defenders. Von Miller, they kept him. We thought maybe they'd move on from him at the high price tag. Chubb coming back from injury. So again, you have your defensive ends. Parsons makes a ton of sense. Fields makes a lot of sense here. Again, quarterback. I know they traded for Bridgewater. It does not mean that they won't take a quarterback. I'm sorry. He's a free agent after this year.
I understand that when competition, push him. It's so awful how Bridgewater's career has turned out this way.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, they were gonna beat the defending Super Bowl champions in the first round of the playoffs at home, and Blair Walsh missed a field goal. They were knocking them off. Bridgewater didn't have a great game. It was sub-zero temperatures, it was all that stuff. They were gonna beat the defending Super Bowl champions, plain and simple, and they lost. And it wasn't his fault. He didn't throw a game-ending pick. He didn't, blah, 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 blah. No. The kicker missed like a 21-yard field goal. What?
It's a tough day at the office.
What do you do?
That's an absolute thankless job. Those guys, I love the replacements, how they depict the guys, the gambling soccer player.
Yeah. Who smokes on the field. Again, Denver, do they take a quarterback? Do they try, whatever? Who has the say in this? Because now they have a new GM, George Patton. Elway is supposedly a little bit more hands-off in the draft process. Who knows? I'm not honestly sure.
Well right now.
I'm not sure who's taller, Justin Fields or Mac Jones. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Again, Denver's taking this down. This is a prime trade-up candidate. People have talked about, Denver could be, somebody who wants to get one of these quarterbacks who falls, which we assumed it was going to be, Lance and Fields. It is Fields. I say dropping. That's a kind of pejorative term. That's not fair. It's the 9th pick in the draft. It's not.
No, this is like when you have Chris Sims sending Fields to pick 32, then it's like, okay. First of all,
that's a whole other.
I think Tom Brady's going to have a little something to say about that pick.
Yeah. I again, it's. Oh man,
I don't think Fields goes past 15. To be honest,
I don't think he does either. Whether it's New England or somebody trades up, because could I see Chicago coming up and getting him? Maybe. Could I see, New Orleans has been talked about trying to get into the top 10. If they really want, maybe Fields is their guy. And if they can get him at 15, maybe that's it, because right now they only have 1.5 quarterbacks. So again, it's just, who knows? But
you take away half a quarterback from Winston for his interceptions?
I do not. That is not the guy I have as half a quarterback, Sean, and you know damn well better. I don't see what's going on YouTube, so I don't know if anybody's watching us currently right now. Like I said, we're still waiting for Denver. They are taking this down. I'm getting a minute 38 right now. So People are calling.
Trey has said he'd love for the Bears to trade up for Fields.
Okay. Well, I mean, that would make a lot, depending on where he goes. Let's see. So let's look at our next couple selections. We don't know what's happening yet with Denver. 10 is Dallas. They have been linked to Patrick Surtain II for months. He is sitting there, and he is the second best corner according to the draft. At 11, who do we have at 11, Sean?
The New York Giants.
The New York Giants, that's right.
New Jersey.
That's right. And then at 12, we have the Philadelphia Eagles after all the moving around. So we're going to get a run on NFC East teams here. So we'll see how that affects. Denver is under 1 minute. God, Sean. Okay, you got to make a decision right now. Do they keep the pick? Do they trade the pick?
I think they keep it.
You think they keep it?
Yeah, I think they make a pick here.
Okay, you think they make the pick. All right. All right. Well, I mean, we're trying to see. They're down to 30 seconds right now. So, boy, oh boy. Okay, the pick is in. The pick is in according to ESPN. Now, what does that mean? That means they didn't get an offer they liked, apparently. I mean, if they're still on the clock and the pick is in, teams were trying to trade up.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Your board can move around. I think there are, J.C. Horn off your board. Maybe they were going to take Horn at 9. I don't know. Now they got to look at Surtain. Whatever.
Do Dallas fans want them to take Smith? But they wouldn't. They don't really need a wide receiver.
No.
So are Dallas fans
Dallas
crapping their pants now?
Well, yeah, because they want Surtain. They don't want Jerry to screw this up.
But Devontae Smith is there.
It does. Listen. If the Dallas Cowboys take Devonta Smith, I am canceling Fox. I will never, ever, ever watch a rerun of The Simpsons. I won't watch Married with Children. I won't watch In Living Color. They're all done. It goes back. It's retroactive. No. They will not take
How do they feel about Micah Parsons? How do the Dallas fans feel about that?
You know what? I don't know. I was talking to our friend Lewis, who unfortunately he was going to be on the pod tonight, but he's playing softball. He messaged me, so he said, "Send my condolences." I think people are split. In all honesty, I think people are split. They're not really sure what he is, because some people are still sold that Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch can be the guys. I personally think that having Parsons in there helps. I took him in my mock for Dallas. But again,
Vander Esch is
to me
too much injuries.
And same with Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith's a great recovery story, but unfortunately, sometimes the story has to end. And I still think he has a career. Holy moly. All right, a little bit of a shocker here. Denver takes cornerback Patrick Surtain II with the 9th overall pick. So they have cock-blocked Dallas from their presumed savior in the back end. Wow.
Like the Champ Bailey days? We're just going to throw out a million quarterbacks?
Well, listen, it wasn't that long ago. They had one of the best defensive backfields in football. So,
is Chris Harris still there?
Well, no, Chris Harris was part of that, and Bradley Roby and stuff. But don't forget, they signed who was the safety from the Bears? The Bears, or the corner. They cut him. And then Denver picked them up. And then they also have, I believe, Jackson. Or no, the safety they signed. They're rebuilding the Denver Broncos defensive backfield the way it was during the Peyton Manning Super Bowl runs and stuff. This is incredible. I cannot believe that he was the pick.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't know.
What does Dallas do? Now it gets interesting because – people talked about New England
begging for Parsons. They're begging for Parsons.
Well, hold on now. Their offensive line has been decimated. This could be a perfect fit for Slater.
Slater, yeah.
This could be a perfect fit for Slater. I just wow. I'm genuinely shocked. I really, really am. Again, this was a talk. New England possibly moving up with Dallas. Some other teams, maybe Arizona moves up. Who knows? Who wants to move up, who wants to move down, things of that sort. Dallas, wow. Right now, ESPN has Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah as the best fit, and of course, still Devonta Smith as the best available. Everybody has their own rankings, so please, I'm I'm sticking with ESPN. That's what I do. So go from there. Sean,
So would
what's Dallas going to
Wusu
do?
Koromora fall under the same argument as Parsons, or is that different? Or is it the same thing and they go like,
Well,
is this too early for who's the third cornerback?
The third cornerback?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Farley, but who knows what's going to happen with him? Newsome, I like Newsome out of Northwestern. You can't take him at 10. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you can take him at 10.
I think it's Parsons. You gave him to them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like it for them better than if you don't have Surtain there. I think that's where you got to go.
I think we might see our first trade. I think Dallas is not sure what to do. I think they have the board a certain way. Maybe they don't look at Parsons as the best fit. They're not taking a wide receiver. Maybe they have Slater in the 14 to 18 range, because everybody's big boards are different. Everybody's going to look, different and things of that sort. So maybe, again, I'll use my team. New England wants Fields. They don't want to wait for anybody else to possibly come up. And they trade up to 10. And they think, okay, so we know that a quarterback's gone. So that's one less selection. Again, I don't know what Dallas is going to do, Sean. I mean, I think everybody thought Surtain was going to be there. I mean, again, mock drafts are imperfect, but he was literally mocked there. Nobody had Horn and Surtain going in the top 10.
No.
Nobody. If there's a mock draft out there that had it, kudos to you. I respect you. I don't read all the mock drafts. I didn't see anywhere that had both of them in the top 10.
Yeah, I didn't see Denver taking another quarterback. That's
me either. Me either. Wow.
New Orleans is 28 and they want to get up. That's too far back for Dallas, right?
Unless they're giving up like a first next year. But 28's a long way to go.
So Dallas could pick up another draft pick. So do you think like Philadelphia would trade with New Orleans? Because I was looking at 11 through 14 to see where New Orleans can trade up to. The Giants need to take somebody. So I think if Slater's still there, the Giants have to take Slater. Like Devontae Smith is falling unless Dallas goes for Devontae Smith.
We have our first trade, and we have an interdivision trade. The Philadelphia Eagles have moved up to number 10 with the Dallas Cowboys. So Philly's on the clock.
So they get a fresh 10, right?
No, I believe they get 7. Let me I'm pulling it up here. Let me make sure that I'm not screwing this up. I believe they get 7 minutes.
You shouldn't get that much time if you're trading up because you basically know who you want to take.
Presumably, yeah. They're at 2.5 minutes right now. So again, I have this on ESPN. I'm not sure of the exact trade. You're only moving up 2 spots, maybe a 3rd rounder, maybe a 4th rounder. I'm not really sure how they're doing that. But again, interesting that Philly's moving up. So are they going to get Parsons? Are they afraid of the Giants taking him? Are they going to take Devonta Smith? Again, I had Devonta Smith going to the Giants. So is that the guy that they take? I think we talked about in the mock that if Philadelphia got Devonta Smith, Eagles fans would finally be happy for once. So maybe this is just to make sure that they get their guy. They're afraid of the Giants taking him.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I when we did our linebackers pod, I said Parsons would be a good fit in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially Brendan's saying in the chat that he thinks this is for Parsons to take Parsons because Dallas doesn't want to take him. And I guess they think the Giants are going to take him. I'm not too sure,
maybe.
But
well,
who knows?
Lawrence Taylor. ESPN has best fit for Philadelphia as Justin Fields. If you don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy, again, you're probably not giving up much. They probably didn't give up a ton to move up to 10, from 12. But
I don't like the fit for Fields.
I don't either. But
I don't like the
mean,
fit for many quarterbacks.
well, that's a whole other argument because remember, Philadelphia is a dumpster fire. So again, I mean, they're down now 45 seconds. So, I mean, all right, let's make our selections. Who are they taking?
I think it's Parsons.
I think it's Smith.
Okay.
All right, you think it's Parsons. I think it's Smith. I think that, again, they need to give Jalen Hurts weapons. They've already talked about moving on from Zach Ertz, the wide receivers. Everybody kind of gave Wentz a pass because he didn't have anybody to throw to. Well, they didn't sign really anybody in free agency, so Jalen Hurts has the same guys to throw to. So I think.
What do we think about Slater? What about their offensive line? Trey's
again, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. I like Slater going to Philly. Jason Peters, those guys older.
Mm-hmm.
That totally makes sense. Again, I'm not sure the Giants were in position to take Slater. I mean, maybe they were.
They were. I think they were.
Well,
that's where I said I think they should. I think they should.
Okay.
If Slater fell beyond the Cowboys, I think the Giants should take Slater because they need, like Giants fans keep saying, they need trench guys on both sides.
Well, they do. Again, they took Thomas last year. So if you take another one, they have Nate Solder coming back from the opt-out. He restructured his deal that he's going to be free agent after this year. So maybe you bring a guy like Slater in, you run, 3 tackles to, get him up to speed, things of that sort.
You got to protect
again.
Long story short.
You're right. That makes sense. Again, I'm not sure you had to trade up to 10 to get him, but depending on how much it cost them is a whole other story. Like I said, right now it's saying the Philly pick is in. We're just waiting to find out. You have them taking Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I have them taking Devonta Smith. We will see here shortly who it is. Again, we know the next pick is going to be the Giants. So, Sean, without knowing the pick, what do you expect the Giants to target? I guess I should say, if you were the Giants, who would you want to pick?
Well, I'd want Slater if Slater's available, but if not, Devontae Smith is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, my board's all toasted.
Yeah, I don't even have our mock draft, and I forgot to grab my tablet. I don't even have my mock draft in front of me.
Half the guys that I've got going in here all for some reason.
They're gone. They're gone.
It's like Slater's just falling because there's fits, but nobody needs.
Well, I mean, we've seen this the last couple of years in the league. Young offensive coordinators getting head coaching jobs, even a little bit older offensive coordinators getting coaching jobs. We see that teams want to get their quarterbacks and they want to get their wide receivers. They want to get weapons because they look and they say, well, the pick is in. The Philadelphia Eagles did, in fact, trade up for wide receiver Devonta Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama. Again, he was another one. If Smith fell to 12, it made a ton of sense for Philly to take him. They must have been scared somebody was going to move up or that the Giants were going to take him. So they moved up to 10. Dallas kind of doing a solid for Philly. So we'll see how that works in the Dallas media. Let's go from there. I like this pick. Again, I said that basically he's going to be the version of what they hoped Deshaun Jackson was. Not as fast as Jackson, but slender guy, can get down the field, can catch the ball, can make plays. Maybe he can make plays in the return game, even though Jalen Waddle was the punt returner at Alabama. Again, I think they're just going to want Smith all over the field.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good pick for Jalen Hurts in that offense. I think it's a good pick. And I think the Giants.
Yeah, I also think it's a good pick, but don't forget Jalen Hurts also played with Devonta Smith, didn't he?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's
so
it's
again,
a good pick for
we have another connection. Yeah, we have another connection. We saw it. It's 3 times now. 3 times in the top 10, we've seen these connections. We've seen Burrow with Chase. We've seen Miami with Waddle, and now we've seen Smith with Hurts. Again, that was a few years longer ago, but again, these connections, man, it's I don't know what to. this isn't a bad term. It's like the NBA-ification of team building.
The SEC-ification of the NFL. Because
sure,
all of those connections are SEC schools,
but I think
just
the SEC,
Alabama.
You're right, but I also think SEC. I think the SEC stole it from the NBA. We're like, I want to play with my friends. I want to play with these guys. I want to play with certain guys, and it's like, all right, now we want to play together. We want, okay, I'm a quarterback. You know who I want? I want a guy who I know where he's going. I want a guy who knows, what routes he's going.
Hopefully, his knees aren't taken out before he can throw that pass. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank God Cincinnati didn't draft an offensive lineman. Right now, the New York Giants are on the clock, like we said, with the 11th pick in the draft. Right now, it's 9:39 East Coast time, so we are plugging along here. It is all right. The Giants here. Again, they have best fit. Another team, Koromoa, the linebacker. I personally think that Slater is an excellent pick here. If the next couple of teams we have coming up, we have Dallas coming up at 12.
Yeah.
If the Giants don't take Slater, Dallas should run to the podium to get Slater. I actually think that's who they were targeting at 10 and figured that they could get him at 12.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, we have the Chargers, who would absolutely love to get Rashawn Slater. We have the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. So that's leading up to pick 15. You know what? I can actually see New England taking Slater too if they have him rated high enough. I mean, it definitely makes sense. Oh my God. Trey Hill, praise Jeebus. The Chicago Bears are on the clock.
What? Okay, where is Trey?
I hope you're here, Trey. We have another trade up, this one from a bit further back. The New York Giants apparently are not making a selection at number 11 because the Chicago Bears are, in fact, on the clock. So really, Sean, it begs one question. There's only one question. Is it Fields or Jones?
Fields. I think it's got to be Fields.
God. I think it's Jones. I don't know why. I think okay, you know what? I'll tell you why. Here's why I think it's Jones. Because Justin Fields is more similar to Mitchell Trubisky than Mac Jones is. I think that whatever they're doing, it didn't work with Trubisky, and they're a little scared that type of quarterback, the athletic guy, even though Jones isn't unathletic, I'm not saying that, but that he just doesn't fit the system, and Jones does.
Sure.
Maybe I'm wrong, Sean, but wow. Okay, the pick is in. We are about to find out.
The pick is in.
I mean, I can tell you this. They are not trading up to take Rashawn Slater, okay? They are not trading up to take Rashawn Slater.
We got Trey coming in.
Oh, man. Coming in hot, man. Coming in hot. And this is, wow. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Oh, all right, connecting to audio. Holy cow, this is crazy. Are you there?
Oh, Trey. Oh, he's still connecting.
Connected to audio
now.
All right, there we go.
You're good.
No, I don't know what audio it's on, but
you're good. We
can
hear
all right?
you. We can see you. You perfect.
We can hear you. We can see you. How you doing here?
Man, I am excited. I'm wondering what we had to give up, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's not next year's first, because I know if it doesn't work out, the GM's gone, so he doesn't really give a shit about the future picks. But I just hope it's not next year's first. But
all right. Well, I haven't seen the details of the trade, but I can guarantee it includes next year's first. We I don't know if you heard us. Who do you want, Fields or Jones?
I want Fields. I'd prefer Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a higher ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But God,
I'm
just glad to be moving on from Trubisky. Caleb's at work.
Oh,
he's gonna be devastated. He's going to be devastated.
So bad. And listen, if for whatever reason the New England Patriots draft Mac Jones, if he's not the selection by the Bears, I'm going to drive to Indiana, and Caleb and I can have a battle royale fight to the death because I don't want Mac Jones, and he thinks Mac Jones is the shit. So we're gonna have to duke it out. You can be
He's
the
really
ref,
he's
Trey.
really hoping that Fields goes to the Patriots so that way he can suck for you guys.
Oh yeah, he totally like every bad Justin Fields throw, he's gonna like send me a message.
All
like,
right, the pick is in,
oh,
gentlemen.
yes,
Let's
the
see.
pick is in. We're ready. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Who is Andy Dalton going to mentor this year?
Oh boy. If Andy Dalton is your
Stop
mentor-
talking about COVID-19, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Trey's watching live.
Yeah. Trey's got it on.
Everybody's vaccinated there. Everybody's vaccinated. That's at the
Well,
event.
Well, okay.
Now he's talking about minorities. The NFL never gives a fuck about minorities. Why do they want to pretend now? Just tell me who my team took.
That's why Fields is dropping.
Oh boy. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah, I mean, again, Trey, I agree with you. I think Fields totally makes sense. Sean, you also said Fields. I said Jones just because I think
That's probably where they're going to go.
But the Bears have made the selection. Trey, you ready? You ready? Give me a thumbs up. The Chicago Bears have selected quarterback Justin Fields from The Ohio State University.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Congratulations. Listen,
I'm pretty happy about it.
You know how mad Caleb is. Right now in his gut and his soul, he feels like he has to take a 20-pound dump. He knows something's wrong.
He doesn't even know yet. It's going to be fantastic. He's going to get off work.
He knows.
And
he knows.
All of this stuff is going to flood his phone.
He knows. Listen, it's the same way that a mother knows that her baby's sick. You just know. When it comes to Alabama.
Oh, man. I'm excited.
All right, so.
Is this the first Black Bears quarterback in history?
Yeah.
No. Maybe. I don't know.
It might be.
No.
It might be.
I say that.
I think my facial reaction to Joe saying no there was about the best thing so far.
I don't know. I want to say no. No, it can't possibly be.
It's making up for the sins of passing on Watson and Mahomes.
All right, I've got the list of quarterbacks here, so we'll just skip through the early history. We'll go to the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 90s on.
Okay, so we've got Jim Harbaugh.
No.
Peter Tom Willis.
No clue.
I'm assuming no.
Will Furrier. No. Steve Walsh.
No.
Nope.
Eric Kramer.
No.
David Krieg.
Krieg, no.
Rick Meyer.
No.
Steve Stenstrom.
No.
Moses Moreno.
I'm pretty sure not.
Cade McNown.
Nope.
Shane Matthews. Jim Miller.
No.
Chris Chandler. Oh, Henry Burris. Henry Burris in 2002.
I am correct. I win prejudice bingo for the night. All right, I got it. And circle gets the square. All right. While that was a ton of fun, we are on to the next pick. The Dallas Cowboys are back on the clock at pick number 12. Again, originally.
Adios, gentlemen. I'm going to go
thanks a
celebrate.
lot, Trey.
All right.
Hey, you OSU, baby. OSU. Trey is gone. He is out. He is going to do the things that Bears fans do when they get a quarterback. So he's not really sure what that is, but he's going to look in some history books. Again, wow, Fields. Okay, so apparently New England wasn't going to trade up and get Fields. I'm sure they knew that somebody was going to go up and try and get him, but it wasn't New England. God, the Mac Jones thing is scaring me. I'm starting to get sick to my stomach. Can we end the pod early? Can we just stop it?
Never. Not at all.
No, never. I might just
not
go
the way
all
this
night.
is going down.
I might just go all night. You can go to bed. I'm up all night. It'll just be me talking. All right. So again, Dallas Cowboys on the clock, 12th pick. Originally Philly, they trade. Of course, Philly moves up. Again, I said Slater. Slater makes a ton of sense for them. ESPN has best fit Koromoa. Is there anybody else that you're thinking that maybe they go after? I mean, if they have obviously a lineman, if Vera Tucker is rated higher, they could take him. But is there a position that you're thinking that they go with here, Sean?
Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas.
It's got to be cornerback, but like maybe trade back again if you can. Like I think Cowboys fans would love that. That would be their favorite. Like trade back, because if you're gonna, I think they need to go cornerback. I think that really is the best position for them. Like if you think Leighton Vander Esch is gonna stay somewhat healthy and Jalen Smith can, go for a cornerback because you're gonna need to.
I get it, but how far back do you want to go? Is the real question. Because okay, let's look at some people who might want to trade up. The Raiders.
So New Orleans is too far.
Raiders?
That's still
Washington. Yeah. If Washington wants Mac Jones, they're at 19. Maybe does Dallas call Washington 2 interdivision trades, and Washington can come up and get Mac Jones.
Yeah, and that's I had Farley going to Chicago, and so did you. So that's around the range for Farley. So yeah, I think if you can go get Washington to trade up from 19, that would be an excellent spot. You're stealing assets from interdivisional rivals.
I get that, but if I'm already worried about linebackers who have injury histories, I'm not sure I want to take a cornerback to, with an injury history, a back problem. Again, they say he's going to be okay. We don't know. They said Jalen Smith might never play football, and he got a big contract. So again, we don't know anything when it comes to these guys, and it's not for a lack of trying. It's just we don't know. Football is hard, Sean. We've talked about that. Again, Dallas on the clock here. It's just wow. While we're waiting for Dallas to pick, just give me your thoughts on the top 11 so far. What do you like? What are you surprised by? What have you just like by?
I'm just flabbergasted at what's happening. I love Fields getting taken by Chicago-ish. I'm getting taken early. I don't really. I wish Gase wasn't there. Or not Gase, Nagy. I mean.
Yeah. What's the difference? What's the difference?
It's unfortunate for Justin Fields, but I think. Allen Robinson, great quarterback, or a great wide receiver for him to throw to have. I think that'll make Allen Robinson happy.
Again, he signed he signed the franchise tag. There was talks of him obviously leaving in free agency. He wanted to trade, but maybe getting a quarterback like this, if he believes in Justin Fields, maybe this is the, impetus to stay, whether it's a new coaching staff or not. Obviously, Trey said it, Andy Dalton presumably will go into the season as the starter. But now you have, we've made some jokes at the Bears' expenses. They have Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and Nick Foles in the quarterback room. So say what you want about those guys. Foles won a Super Bowl. Dalton has won divisions. He's going to learn from veterans. He's going to be that's a knowledgeable quarterback room. Again, I think Foles is a flash in the pan. He if it's outside of Philly, who knows what the hell you're going to get from him. Again, Dalton is we have the pick in, Sean. The Dallas Cowboys at the number 12 pick have selected linebacker from Penn State, Micah Parsons. So I hit that pick. I didn't get the right number, but I did hit the pick. Lewis, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, man. Wow. Okay. So, Sean, we kind of talked about it. Not to get off our other point. What do you think? Dallas and Parsons. What do you think?
TBD, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe this is good for him to learn under some vets that have gone through some stuff in the NFL. So maybe he learns something and he ends up turning out great for them. Depth probably isn't actually a bad problem for them, to be honest. If those are your linebackers that you're relying on, having some depth there will be a needed asset.
Well, and Parsons can rush the passer. Something that Dallas hasn't had is a pass rush. Again, you paid DeMarcus Lawrence, all this money. He all of a sudden can't get to the quarterback as often. So if you can bring him in on, blitzes from the outside or blitzes up the middle, because again, he's a very versatile, active linebacker. That's what he does. Again, I think it's a nice fit. I talked about in the mock draft, I had him at 10. I still think Slater's a smarter pick because you don't know what's going to happen with Ty Smith. They've had some really bad luck on the offensive line between injuries and retirements, things of that sort. The LA Chargers are now on the clock, Sean. Again, we keep talking about it. Do they run up and give the pick for Slater? I mean, where are they going here?
You absolutely take Slater or Darrisaw or whoever you are comfortable.
Yeah, I should say Darrisaw.
Because that's the thing. They may not have thought Slater would fall this far. They may have interviewed somebody else more, like Darrisaw.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I think you go offensive tackle here. You have to do that. That's what you absolutely have to do. Protect Justin Herbert.
Yep.
If Joe Burrow's not going to get protected, let's protect Justin Herbert. Somebody protect their quarterback. Somebody do something. So I think, Slater is an excellent pick. It's funny because this is kind of the range that he was mocked a few months ago in this range, because it was like Penei Sewell up in the 2 to 5 range. And then Slater was in the 13 to 15, 16 range. And then you had Vera Tucker and Darrisaw started jumping up boards and everything like that. And it got extra strong, like we talked about in that last pod. So I think this is a good, I think they got to protect Justin Herbert. Absolutely. Just do that.
Listen, you're absolutely right. Whether they take a tackle here or not, again, whether it's Slater, Darrisaw, Vera Tucker, whoever it is, if they don't take one, they're definitely going to take one in the second, I would imagine. They've talked about the kind of lack of depth at times of the tackle. There's some really good high ones, and then as you go down the draft, maybe some other guys. Again, I think in Darrisaw you have a really high-rated prospect. In Slater, you have a really high-rated prospect. Vera Tucker comes up. So, again, is this a trade back spot? Maybe do what Dallas did. Do what who the Bears move up with. The Giants, whoever the Giants wanted. Maybe they didn't have anybody rated that high. But, again, move back just a couple spots, and you can still get your guy. Again, they're at 13. New England move up if they want Mac Jones. I don't think they have to worry about Minnesota taking him, but somebody else trading up. We've already seen the Bears go all the way up. Las Vegas, Arizona, coming up for somebody else. Again,
I had Vera Tucker going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And we both had Darrisaw going to the Chargers. So,
but we also didn't expect Slater to be here.
No. But I'm just saying, so wouldn't the Chargers want to make the pick now? Or are you thinking they trade back to let the other teams make the decision? I thought you would just take Slater now.
Listen, I agree that the pick now should be Slater. I completely agree with that. But my thinking is kind of like the talk of San Francisco with the quarterbacks. If you like 3 of the 4 or 4 of the 5 quarterbacks and you don't care who you get and you'll do your due diligence, maybe they have Vera Tucker, Darrisaw, and Slater all ranked together. We have Slater ranked high. It doesn't mean everybody else does. So if there's kind of this grouping of offensive linemen and they think, okay, if we move back 3 to 7 spots, we're still going to get one of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's their thinking. I honestly don't know. The Chargers, I personally think that they should be doing backflips for whoever they have as their highest rated tackle, because my guess is they had Sewell at number 1, and after that, everybody else is available. So, I mean, you're not picking from, again, whoever takes a quarterback now, they're getting Mac Jones. There's no debate anymore. The first 4 are gone. So if you want a quarterback, you have to find out where you have Mac Jones rated on your board. Right now, if you're any of these teams, whether you're the Chargers, Minnesota, New England, Arizona coming up, Miami at 18, Vegas at 17, you have some really good prospects at tackle. So you just have to decide what you want, what fits best in your scheme.
Where do you think New England goes? Because the next 2 picks shouldn't really affect them too much. I don't think, but so lots of people thought Parsons, lots of people were thinking Fields, Devontae Smith. Like, what's Bill Simmons thinking right now? Who does he want? Who do you
Well, I mean,
want?
he wanted wide receivers. There's no more wide receivers. He wanted Fields. He was, crazy over Fields. He's not getting Fields.
So is this the patented trade back?
I mean, yeah. I will say that they have not, maybe, but they have not picked up the 5th-year option on left tackle Isaiah Wynn. So if one of these linemen falls, again, if it's Slater, if it's, Darisaw, something like that, maybe that's a really good fit. Some other prospects on the board that I think make decent sense for them. Excuse me. Again, I just don't see the Mac Jones stuff. Again, linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, inside linebacker. That makes a lot of sense if you're going to go after Parsons. Some people think that Koramoah's the best linebacker. Again, I think wide receiver, there's not somebody you want to take. There's Bateman, Elijah Moore, stuff like that. I don't think you want to take him at 15.
If you trade with New Orleans, that's where you could take a wide receiver.
Yeah, if you want an outside linebacker who's athletic, again, you signed Matt Judon in free agency, Zaven Collins.
So do you trade back with the Giants?
Maybe. Again, New England is notorious for trading back. They might trade back 3 times in this draft. So who knows?
Hope you didn't want to talk about their pick on live on the feed.
I expected to not talk about the New England pick on the live feed. Okay, I expected
it's a potential luxury.
Yes, exactly. If I did, fantastic. If not, I'm not all that surprised. Again, a guy like Koramoah makes a lot of sense. Whether it's Vera Tucker, that Kwity Paye, I'm not sure that I like him for New England, but who knows? The pick is in for the LA Chargers. Right now, it's exactly 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we're moving through the draft. Okay, I think a little slow. Again, we started at 8:30. I think it was about 8:35 by the time we went live, and we were on the clock for the 3rd pick. Mm-hmm. So actually, I think we were on the clock for the 2nd pick. So it took a while. So I'm glad we didn't wait till 9, but I'm glad we waited till 8:30.
Oh yeah, the intro was long.
It was very long.
It took a long. Like, they got Greeny hosting it, Mike Greenberg, and that's who you want hosting this event for this, because there's no one that fills dead space better than Greeny and gets dead space filled with the other hosts.
They could have offered a contract to Colin Cowherd. Like a one-night contract.
The draft wouldn't have happened. It would have been like, oh yeah, and the first pick, who did you guys take, Jaguars?
Yeah, it would have been bad. Okay.
Are there any backwards hats?
We have it. The pick is in. The Los Angeles Chargers have selected offensive lineman from Northwestern, Rashawn Slater. Perfect.
Great.
Perfect fit. I think this is, if I can speak for you, I think this is our favorite fit so far, right? Slater dropping to the Chargers. I mean, this has to be the best fit, maybe other than Fields, but the Bears had to go up and get him. But to have a guy fall to you, this makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think Minnesota takes now? Do we go Vera Tucker? Do we go Darisaw?
I mean, right now they're saying on ESPN they have their needs as D-end, guard, center, safety, and inside linebacker. So let's take their first 2, D-end and offensive guard.
So then that's Vera Tucker.
So do you take Vera Tucker? Do you take Kwity Paye? Again, defensive ends, we talked about it. We kind of dropped them back. I have Kwity Paye actually going to Minnesota in my mock draft. I remember that. But some of the other defensive ends, Rousseau, Jalen Phillips, guys like that, a little bit further down just because there's so many question marks. I'm not sure you want to take them this high. Again, I'm not even sure you want to take Paye this high, but if you just tell yourself I need a defensive end, Right now, they're having the best fit as Elijah Vera Tucker and the best available as Koromoa. They have Koromoa ranked really, really high. I think they had him ranked maybe the 11th best prospect in the draft, according to them. But those rankings, again, they're all,
So is that
they're
where,
all-
do you think, because Arizona, where did they go now? Because everybody had them with JC Horn. They probably potentially could have had like JC Horn falling to, like, they would have thought he was going to fall because everybody mocked him.
Nobody had him at 8. Nobody had him at 8.
So
maybe
do they
you take
go
Farley. Maybe you take Newsom. If you think Newsom is the guy, you could take him up there.
But they got
Again,
rid of Reddick, right?
Yeah,
So maybe Koromora.
maybe. I think if Arizona got Koromoa, they'd be really happy.
Yeah.
Again, Buda Baker kind of plays all over that defensive backfield. They signed Malcolm Butler, things of that sort. Again, Minnesota on the clock right now, about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. I have a message from our friend Lewis. He's not angry about the Dallas pick. He's excited that his co-host is going to have something to talk about on their next podcast, the Ginger's Tailgate. So, we'll just leave it at that. Again, Minnesota is on the clock. So let's see what happens. Again, we're at the 14th pick right now. New England is in the bullpen. They are waiting to, get in here. I'm sure they're working the phone lines. I do not expect them to make the pick. I'm hoping against hope that they do not take Mac Jones. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Jones?
I can't do it. He played at Alabama. He's an SEC guy. He's
the second coming of Tom Brady.
Listen. That's cool that he has a dad bod. I have a dad bod. You know who I don't want the New England Patriots to select in the first round? This guy. That's who I don't want them to select in the first round. All right.
But that practice throw. Come on.
Don't do it. Don't. We're past Zach Wilson. We're past all that. I don't want to talk about the past. Holy moly, we have a trade. The New York Jets have traded up to the 14th pick.
What was that, 23?
I believe 23 is where they were at. That was the Seattle pick for Jamal Adams. So the Jets are currently on the clock after swiping. Yes, that's the 20.
23. It's 23.
Yeah, 23. Yeah. So
who do they have? Because I had them taking Kwity Paye.
Well, I mean, maybe they keep Kwity Paye.
You had them going Barmore.
I did have them going Barmore. I think this is too high for Barmore. It's too high for Barmore. And from everything I've seen, a lot of people are not high on Barmore. The pick is in. They did not wait. I'll tell you what. You know who they might take? CJ Mosley's coming back off sitting out a year. If they take Koromoa, or if they do what I suggested in the first place and take a lineman, maybe they get their quarterback and their lineman to go with Becton. Maybe they take Vera Tucker. Maybe they take Darisaw. So they do my plan, but they do it differently. They do the roundabout.
They pick a receiver that throws a good rolling to his left throw that's not on target. No sour grapes.
We're gonna anger people, Sean. We're gonna anger people. Again, another trade. Wow. All right. So again, we're waiting for the Jets pick right now. They move up from presumably 23 to come up all the way to 14. Again, a nice little movement there. Nice little movement.
Brendan wants to know if he should just buy his Mac Jones jersey.
No. Why would I want a Mac Jones jersey? First off, it's an Alabama jersey.
If he should buy his Mac Jones jersey, just buy a Patriots Mac Jones jersey.
No, not at all.
Well, he does work go to Tuscaloosa too, so
good for him. I don't care. See this face right here? Man not caring. Again, the Jets pick is in. We're just waiting for it. Sean, what have you thought of the trade up so far? We've seen Philadelphia go up and get Smith. we've seen the Bears go up and get Fields. Now we're seeing the Jets go up, and again, we're just waiting for the pick. But of those two so far, and of the Jets just moving up in general, what do you think?
I think they're eyeing an offensive tackle, offensive lineman. I think that's a good call there. It's the trade ups. Yeah, I guess Philadelphia needs to trade up for Smith. Like, I guess New Jersey Giants would have taken Smith. I love Chicago trading up. That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely the right thing to do. Just get your guy.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I completely agree. Chicago, they blew it with Trubisky. I mean, again, hindsight being 2020, whatever. Somebody brought up a good point the other day. Do you know who San Francisco took? They took Solomon Thomas, who is no longer with the team. So for all the shit that the Bears get, San Francisco could have had their quarterback situation fixed by taking either Watson or Mahomes. So, we give the Bears crap, but San Francisco kind of went out unscathed.
What did they do with the extra pick?
I'm not sure that they did much with it. But anyway, we're not here to rehash the past.
Why bring it up?
Listen, really, you're going to do that?
Yeah,
you're going to be that guy?
Let's get punchy.
Let's get punchy. Come on. It's only 10 after 10. I'm not punchy yet. New England's next on the clock. I'm not punchy yet. No, it's boy, oh boy. While we're sitting here waiting for the Jets to pick and then the Patriots on the clock next, I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Again, There was a report that came out today. We didn't have a pre-show or anything like this. I came in guns a-blazing. And and basically he's done with the organization. He wanted a contract. Reports from Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter said that this goes beyond the contract, that he just doesn't want anything to do with them. Mark Schlereth apparently reported Denver was close to getting him. Well, Denver didn't trade for him and all this. If he were to get traded before June 1st, it would be a $38 million cap hit. Now, if he's traded after, they split it over the 2 years. Excuse me. It's like 23
15,
next.
Yeah,
it's like 23 next year and all this other stuff. So, and then like 12 or something. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but basically a whole lot of money.
So they'll wait.
Are they going to wait him out? Are they going to? I mean, reports are that Green Bay is just going to tell him tough shit.
That's kind of how they do.
Yeah,
I think that's how they did it last time.
Mm-hmm.
That's Brendan brought up that they're a publicly owned team and they do things different and blah blah. And I think they'll just wait him out because it's going to be too split of a decision between everybody that you're probably not going to get a consensus on. Like some people will be like, oh, to hell with him, and some people will be like, he can eat it. Tough titties.
We have the pick.
Yeah.
You and I were both correct. The Jets took lineman Elijah Vera Tucker.
Oh, nice.
I love this move by the Jets. This is exactly what I wanted them to do. They did it, but they did it in a smarter way. They had 2 first-round picks. They used the first one on the quarterback that they think is their guy. Fair enough. I don't like him, but that's the guy they wanted. And now you had Becton last year that you took in the first round, and now you have Vera Tucker also on the offensive line. Yeah. People forget when the Jets were good, they had really good offensive line. They had DeBrickashaw Ferguson. They had Nick Mangold. They had these guys who were able to protect Mark Sanchez and get them to, New England, the pick is in. Oh man. I can't do this, Sean. This might be the end of the podcast in general. I might literally burn my house down and destroy all remnants of God. I can't do this. They're gonna take Koromoa. I'm just willing it. Come on. They're gonna take Koromoa. They have to.
Oh, maybe.
They have to. No. I you know what? Who's the second ranked tight end? I'll take him. I don't care. We signed 8 tight ends in free agency. I don't care.
So you're this year's Bears?
Please. I don't care. That's fine. Oh
What did
god,
the
I don't
Bears
even want to
enter
look.
camp? The Bears
I
entered
do-
camp with like 10 tight ends last year.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look and see what. No, I don't. I don't. Oh, this is gonna kill me. It just keeps refreshing. The pick is in. The pick is in. The pick is in. But anyway, as we were talking about Rodgers, let's get to that, a quarterback that actually matters. Yeah, I just don't see Green Bay trading him.
You're not going
I
to get
can-
anything worth it.
Can I make a suggestion here? This is
Sure.
crazy because we're getting towards the end of the pod. New England is about to ruin my night and my year. So what if they just cut him? What if they just like post June 1st? They took Jordan Love last year. We don't know what they're going to do in the first round. What if they just say, you know what? We are sick and tired of the passive aggressive BS. We're going to take the cap hit anyway. Nobody's going to give up anything substantial because you are a pain in the ass to work with. And we're just done with you. And they just set a precedent. They don't have an owner. Mark Murphy is the CEO. He's the one who, deals with everything. But they're just done. They just say, we're out. We wash our hands of you. How dumb of an idea is that?
It's super dumb. Like you just tell them tough titties. This is the NFL. You're just going to play.
I'm sick. I'm sick, Sean.
Is it
Damn it.
Jonesy?
Damn it. I hate you. By you, I don't mean the listeners. I appreciate every single one of you, but you, Sean. Son of a bitch.
What do you mean?
This is it. I'm done. I've given up on humanity.
What's wrong, Joe?
You know why? Because that stupid ass grin of him smoking a cigar with a bod that looks like me on a Wednesday at the YMCA is going to be stuck in my head forever. I am ill. I am ill, Sean. Ill. Ill. I hate you.
What if he plays well?
Cool. All joking aside, Mac Jones has proven to be a winner with really good players around him. He had a DUI 4 years ago. He seems to have matured from that. He waited his time. He waited out other quarterbacks. His players stand by him. We talked about, Waddle and Devonta Smith saying that he's better than Tua. Again, how much of that's true, how much of it is, players speak, sticking up for their guy, things of that sort. McDaniels and the Patriots and Belichick, they run a system and they want guys who play within that system. Maybe that's Mac Jones. Maybe that's the guy. And they look at him and they say, listen, we invested in our tight ends. We invested in our wide receivers. We're investing in this, we're investing in that. And this is the guy that can lead us. So, Sean, I'm going to give it to you. But give me all you got.
I think he'll be fine on the bench this year. He'll learn the system. He'll be able to play within whatever McDaniels does. He's not mobile enough for what McDaniels wants to do, but we'll see. Maybe he is. Maybe it's Tom Brady and Belichick's secretly wants him to work out like Tom Brady did, but knows you have to take him earlier. You're not going to hit in the 6th round like you do back in 1999. But I don't know. I hope Cam Newton's the quarterback, and then you just have this 15th overall pick just riding the bench.
Well, that's the thing. Cam Newton is on a 1-year deal. So, obviously right now, all the people in New England are going to say, well, he's gone. He's gone after this year. We don't know. We don't know. And we don't know what any of these guys are going to be. Fair enough. We don't know what any of these guys are going to be. We don't know what Trevor Lawrence is going to be. He could blow his ACL out in the first practice. We don't know what Zach Wilson's going to be. He could be a perennial Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. We don't know. Yeah. We're just going by what we think, and that's what we do here. I just, again, I want to ask you this. Arizona's on the clock. We don't want to skip over any teams. Arizona's on the clock. The pick is in, so we'll see what's going to happen here. I'm really surprised Cormo is kind of not dropping a little bit because I think this is a good range for him, but I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Arizona. I think that'd be a really smart pick by them. I also think maybe a guy like Kwity Paye could be a smart pick for them, coming off the edge, opposite Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, stuff like that. Is the Patriots pick a Belichick pick or a McDaniels pick, in your opinion?
It's Belichick driven.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think he's hedging his bet that Cam's not working out this year, and Mac Jones is a robot. Like he's the kind, that was the thing that people were talking about with San Francisco, was he's kind of plug and play with Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of control him. So this is like the price that San Francisco wants for Jimmy Garoppolo is not what he's willing to pay. So he's like, okay, I'll just go and get a younger version of that.
Yeah.
Nick Saban said he's good. I trust my guy, my curmudgeon buddy, and we'll just roll with Mac Jones.
Yeah. Again, this to me, this squashes the Jimmy Garoppolo to New England stuff. Like, there's just no way. I put it at like 2% before the draft. I've talked about it. The money didn't make sense. You're not going to give up anything of value for the guy. With San Francisco taking Trey Lance, it was even less likely. And now with New England taking Mac Jones, why in the hell are you going to invest? Which Belichick doesn't invest in top 15 picks. Like, he doesn't get them very often. When he does, he's hit on them. He got Richard Seymour. He got Gerard Mayo. He got Ty Warren, all guys who were very good. But he doesn't invest in them because he doesn't get them very often. So if you were investing in the 15th pick in the draft in Mac Jones, a quarterback, you are not going to bring a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo in, not to mentor him, because Jimmy's not coming in to mentor. He will sit for the 1 year. He'll go in, fight. Nice fit. Arizona has selected outside linebacker Zaven Collins from Tulsa.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too.
6'5", 259. Again, can come off the edge. He's going to work. Really, that defense is a lot of hybrids.
Yeah.
It's Buda Baker, stuff like that. Who's the guy they took last year? Fell a bit. I'm sorry. It's escaping me right now. I'm sorry.
Is that the guy with Clemson?
Yeah.
Simmons,
yeah,
right?
Simmons. Isaiah Simmons. Thank you. Yes. So again, they have a formidable defensive line. That's what they're hoping, and they're just putting pieces around everywhere else. So that's good. They're definitely trying to play chess with their defense right now. They're not just lining up. They're trying to get different guys who can do different things. And Collins, I've really, 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 really liked him. So that makes a ton of sense. We thought they might go linebacker, just not the linebacker that we thought.
Yeah.
On the clock now are the Las Vegas Raiders with the 17th pick in the first round. Again, getting back to real quick the New England stuff, because I'm a New England fan and we're going to talk about it. It's just, again, you don't invest in the 15th pick and bring a guy like Jimmy G in. A guy like Cam Newton, 1 year deal, sure. Something else. Next year, who knows? Maybe they draft another young guy. Jared Stidham's still there. He's been in the system a couple years. It's just, again, I'm probably going to be wrong. Maybe Mac Jones is the guy. Maybe he really is. All I'll say is this. He was the 5th quarterback selected in the first round. He wasn't the 3rd. He wasn't the 4th. Again, that's no blame of his. He went out there. He won a national title. He waited his time. He performed. I mean, he led the NCAA in completion percentage, all the things that happened. Me personally, as a fan, I'm saying this as a fan, not as a podcaster, I'm saying as a fan, I'm just not excited about the pick. I'm not.
What would you have been excited about?
At that spot with who was on the board, a trade down. I would have, and again, relative term, excited. Call Washington. Hey, do you like Mac Jones? Come up to 15. Throw us a 3rd rounder. Throw us a 4th rounder, something like that. You're a 4th and a 6th. Come up 4 spots, and then you go back a little bit. You get another linebacker. You get an offensive lineman, stuff like that. again, I could absolutely be wrong. Next year, I wholly believe Cam Newton's going to have a bounce back season. I've said that. Jones will have a chance to compete. Belichick is one thing, if not consistent. Everybody's spot is up for grabs. From the first overall pick to the last guy, of the undrafted free agency class. Everybody has a chance. So if Mac Jones comes in, learns the system, plays well, Cam Newton's going to be sitting on the bench. And if he doesn't, Cam Newton's going to lead the team. So, I mean, Mac Jones could start the season as the number 3 quarterback. So we don't know. But again, I just, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to stick around for a few more minutes here, obviously, because it's not quite 10:30. We got a little bit later of a start, as long as you're okay with that, Sean. The Raiders are still on the clock. About 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Again, Koromoa still on the board. They have the best fit Morig, the safety right now. Okay. Sean, what do you see the Raiders going for right here?
I think they got to go Darisaw. You traded 3 of your 5 offensive linemen, so you got to take one. They're dropping fast in the draft right now.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
I guess who's the safety they got rid of? What was his name?
Oh, the free agent that oh man, that's escaping me right now.
He went in free agency. So yeah, I see Morig being a good pick because I just looked at their roster.
Yeah,
Jeff Heath and Carl Joseph and Dalen Levitt.
Oh, Damon Arnett. That's a corner. That should have been their first round corner last year.
No.
Okay.
Dalen Levitt.
Dalen Levitt. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I misheard you. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Raiders taking this down. They're down to about 1 minute left on the selection. Maybe somebody trying to come up and get a pick. I'll tell you what. Washington is a few picks behind. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after Koromoa, but next up is Miami with pick number 18, and I think they would love to get a linebacker. As a matter of fact, I think I had them taking a linebacker at 18, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, we both actually have them taking Owusu Koromora.
Oh wow, there you go. We might finish up with the double correct here.
Yeah, we both had Las Vegas taking Jenkins. So Darisaw was off the board for both.
Darisaw was off the board, yeah. So again, the pick is in for the Raiders. So let's see what happens here. Again, just some surprises, some shocks.
The JC Horn stuff through the whole thing.
Wow.
That was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, Chase did it, but definitely JC Horn. Like seeing JC Horn's name pop up was like, whoa, like I couldn't believe it. All right, while we're waiting for the Raiders pick right now, Sean, again, it's early. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen the rest of the first round. Give me your best pick so far. The one that just absolutely makes sense. Again, don't let it be number 1. We're not dealing with that. Picks 2 through 16 right now. Who's your best pick?
That's gonna be my best pick. My favorite.
Mine is I love the Chargers getting Slater. I think that's great. If the Jets had not traded up, I would have given it to them. The Jets moving up from 23, the Jamal Adams trade, helping them not only be bad enough to get the quarterback they wanted, but to get another first rounder to come up and get another offensive lineman. Thank you, Jamal Adams. Great. Good luck with that new contract that you're going to fight for. I love Elijah Vera Tucker to them. And I fucking hate the Jets, but that makes a ton of sense. So that's probably my favorite pick. The Raiders have made their selection. Alex Leatherwood, offensive guard from Alabama, not a name that we had in either one of our mock drafts, which makes total sense for the Raiders. Listen, you can take the Al Davis out of the plane of earth, but you can't take Al Davis away from the Raiders, baby. He's for life and beyond.
Well, I guess the guard was where the first spot they wanted to address.
Well, when you get rid of 3 starting offensive linemen, yeah, guard is probably one of the choices.
I would have thought tackle, but apparently guard is where they wanted to start. They wanted to go with somebody that I'm not sure many people had him projected in the first round.
I don't know.
It's that Alabama pedigree. Like, how many Alabama people have been taken already?
Well, you have Smith, Waddle, Jones, Leatherwood.
5 so
Who's
far.
the other one? Who's the one I missed?
Waddle, Smith,
Surtain. Jones. Oh, Surtain. That's right. Surtain. That's who I missed. All right. So Miami's on the clock, I think. Sean, what do you want to go? Do you want to go through Washington?
Sure.
Okay, we'll stick through Washington or whoever has the 19th pick. So again, Miami, we know earlier they took Jalen Waddle. So again, they went wide receiver. Boy, I don't want to look at the reaction of the Patriots and Mac Jones. No, I do not. So again, Jalen Waddle, really 6th pick. I do not. It's popped up on my phone. Oh, take a look at the reaction. No, I'm actually really good.
Pass.
Really good. Pass. Boy, Miami pick is in. They did not waste any time getting this pick in. Let's see. I mean, that would make sense. Again, they're going to get a defense or an offensive lineman to help replace the one that they traded and got all these picks for. And I'm not sure that they thought Darisaw would be on the board at pick 18. So I think if you can come out of this in the first round with Jalen Waddle and Christian Darisaw, if that's the pick, we don't know yet, but that's a great fit. Or you and I both had Koromoa. Again, they signed Van Noy in free agency, 1 year and done. Van Noy's back in New England. Maybe they bring Koromoa in. They want a guy to lead the defense. Maybe, playing at Notre Dame, being that guy. Everybody said he's a great leader. Maybe that's the guy. We don't know. So, but we're going to find out here soon. Again, if it's not Koromoa, I think Washington runs up and gets him.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they think that I don't see why they wouldn't. To me, it just doesn't make sense. But again, I'm not an NFL GM, so maybe I'm wrong. We're gonna stick around for one more pick, but I will still be on the Out of Bounds page, and I will be. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Well, another surprise here. The Miami Dolphins have selected defensive end Jalen Phillips from the University of Miami, so he stays right in town.
Hometown boy.
Again, all right. Jalen Phillips, has some concern, I think, for, what he missed the whole year, right? Or was he the one who? I think Jalen Phillips was one who retired from.
I think so.
It was either him or Rousseau. I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now. It's very late. I've been up all day. And I don't care. Mac Jones has ruined my life, so I get a free pass for the rest of the pod. The Washington football team is now on the clock with pick number 19. They could get Christian Darisaw to help protect their quarterbacks. They could get Owusu Koromoa, and apparently they could get whoever they want in the draft because the Raiders did it. So why the hell can't Washington do it? Sean, if you're the Washington football team, what position do you want to go after right now? Again, we talked about Darisaw, we talked about Koromoa. Who do you, not specifically player, unless you want to choose that, but position-wise, where do you want to go for Washington? Again, they won the division last year. They brought in some free agents on defense and offense. Where are you looking?
Honestly, I'm probably looking defense. Rivera's a defensive head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you go after the defense, solidify, you take Owusu Koromora is a good fit. Absolutely. In the middle. Like, I think I had them taking Washington, Jamin Davis, but Owusu Koromora was off the board. You had them taking Zaven Collins. He's off the board.
And he's off the board. Yeah.
So I think, you solidify the linebacker position, you get an excellent defense going there, and Fitzpatrick just does whatever he needs to do this year for
Fitzpatrick.
Get him through the season.
I will say ESPN has their needs as quarterback, offensive tackle, and inside linebacker as their top three. I think we can assume they're not going to take a quarterback at this point, seeing as how the five, I mean, again, maybe a guy comes up, but Davis Mills, God only knows, whatever. But okay, if you say the offensive tackle and inside linebacker are their two next biggest needs, you have Darasan Koromoa sitting right here. So again, if the people at ESPN know anything about sports, which, they call themselves a worldwide leader in sports, maybe they know a few things, then they should be pretty happy. I can only imagine what the war room is looking like right now, because we know Dan Snyder definitely has his hands in all the cookie jars, but they brought in a new GM, Marty Herney, Ron Rivera in his second year. Herney worked with Rivera in Carolina, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So, again, like you said, Rivera's a defensive guy. But I think Rivera's also a guy that saw what can happen when you don't protect your quarterback. Again, I don't think their quarterback of the future is on the roster right now, but you need to have something. Whether it's, like you said, protecting Fitzpatrick, protecting whoever is going to be the quarterback this year and in the future. So if you do take a guy like Darasaw, it makes a ton of sense. He gets 1 year to learn while you're fixing the quarterback or trying to figure out the quarterback position, and then he's ready when you really invest in the quarterback position.
Well, I think Fitzpatrick is the quarterback you want if you're going to take Owusu Koromor, because you're not going to be able to protect the quarterback, and no one's tougher than Ryan Fitzpatrick. He completes passes when his face mask is sideways. So,
well, Washington is in fact done. The pick is in. So from everything I'm gathering, there is not a trade. So we are waiting for this pick to get in. While we're finishing up, I just want to thank everybody for joining the live stream. I hope you enjoy this podcast. And again, just thank you everybody for investing the time in us, and we really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Again, Sean has set up an Instagram. We have the YouTube page now. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. Just everything. And thank you so much for the support. This has been a ton of fun. I personally want to do the rest of the first round because I need to get this anger out. I'm going to go upstairs and probably beat on my children. That's a joke, everybody. That's a joke. Don't call CYS. But no, this has been a ton of fun, Sean. I had so much fun, and thank you for doing this.
No, it's great. I loved it. I had a ton of fun as well. It's very interesting to try and do all these types of things, and just I'm glad it turned out. I'm glad we're getting through this. I think it was hilarious when you thought we'd get to like pick 23, and I was like,
Well, I mean, the trades change it, but I also said that we weren't starting at 8 because I knew it was going to take a while to get going. I just didn't realize how long.
I was worried that we were going to be starting before the first pick, the way it was rolling. Because I was watching it, and it was like, oh my God.
But they're not going yet.
I'm like watching the clock, and I'm like, oh my God.
It's bad. Again, thank you, Brendan, for coming on. Thank you, Trey, for coming on. Congratulations, Trey. I hate you. That's all I can say. Sean, I just assume your team will get a player you like, so I hate you too.
I don't know. Who knows?
Caleb, when you listen to this, I hate you twice. Lewis, congratulations on dealing with Brendan and the pick of Micah Parsons in Dallas. Right now, I'm just like Michael Corleone. I'm just taking out all the 5 families. You're all dead. You're all done. Bullets through the glasses while getting a massage.
Do you know
it
what's
doesn't matter.
The record for most picks from one school in the first round?
6.
It's 5.
Is it really? Is it 5?
Yeah,
okay, so Alabama tied it.
Alabama's tied it. It was LSU did it.
Okay. So Barmore could be a guy.
Barmore would be the record breaker.
Again, I've heard things. Excuse me. Oh,
because also
Sean, congratulations! You get the perfect selection. They in fact took inside linebacker Jamin Davis from Kentucky. You got that. Sean nails the final pick of the Out of Bounds 2021 NFL Draft Cast. Congratulations, sir. And as we leave, the New York Giants are finally back on the clock. So again, they could take Darasaw, they could take Koromoa. We don't know. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget to come check us out on all your favorite streaming platforms, all the places I told you. Sean, have a great night. Screw you and your